Pioneer Peak Performance, a program full of promise of perfection in sound. The range of Pioneer products is impressive. Within the realms of true high fidelity, it caters for the most critical of audiophiles, and also offers components for those who aspire to be, at prices that are practical and popular. This program is about Pioneer products and their performance. We shall give only brief details of specifications, since full details are in the product brochures, but seeing and hearing is believing, and for that you must obviously tune in to the products themselves and let them convince you that everything you hear and are about to see is true, and that the program title, Pioneer Peak Performance, is no idle boast, but sheer, sparkling reality.
Peak performance from Pioneer's popular range of racks. Superior hi-fi sound, tuned to the budget-conscious enthusiast.
The popular range of components is extensive. 40 to 50% of people purchasing hi-fi in the UK purchase component rack systems. Why? Well, there are four very good reasons. They provide first-class performance. They're very flexible in the mix of products that can be used. The owner can trade up or change items in the rack system if and when technology changes. And last but not least, they really do look good in the home. For the budget-conscious, an excellent system is the X330, which is built up using the elegant slimline SA420 amplifier, which gives an output of 21 watts on each channel. Now, the THD is very low, the finish in brushed aluminium, and the amplifier is fitted with 3 UK safety-approved AC outlets to allow ease of mains connections for other system components. And to accommodate stereo reception in different rooms, A/B speaker switching facility is provided. Now, the matching tuner is the TX520L, which has a long tuning scale. FM, AM, and LW, 5 LED signal strength indicator, stereo beacon, and tune LED. Now, to be stacked within the rack, there can be included the CT 320 cassette deck, which, whilst low in cost, has a range in quality features, including, well, you name it, facility for metal tapes, Dolby, 2 hard permalloy heads, LED peak meter, music search, soft controls, and time standby facility for unattended recording and playback. Wow and flutter is low, and the signal-to-noise ratio commendably high. On the top of the rack is the Pioneer PL120 turntable, powered by a frequency-generated servo DC motor. Also, the platter incorporates the Pioneer stable hanging rotor principle, and the entire unit has coaxial suspension. Now, a special feature is the low-mass polymer graphite straight tone arm, which is matched to a new Pioneer PC210 VM magnet-type MM cartridge, giving improved performance. The rack used in this system is the CB550, which is one of 2 new Pioneer racks which have been newly styled with glass on the sides and a glass door which can be hung left or right. The arrangement of the shelving is very flexible, and an external headphone socket is provided. The racks are finished in rosewood color, and they're fitted with casters for ease of movement. Below the stacked equipment is ample record storage space. Pioneer have a range of bass reflex loudspeakers, matching rack systems in colors and in power handling. For those who require more power than the X330, Pioneer have a full range of popular amplifiers and associated equipment with higher outputs. The SA520, 32 watts per channel, the SA620 with 45 watts per channel, and the SA720 with 65 watts per channel. Now, they all have the elegant slimline appearance of the SA420 and all the features of the SA420. Additionally, these three amplifiers have fluoroscan power meters and a switching facility for tape 1 and tape 2. The tuners to integrate with the larger output amplifiers are the TX520L to go with the SA520 and the TX720L to go with the SA620 and SA720 amplifiers. The TX720L tuner, additional to the features of the TX520L, has voltage synthesized automatic tuning, and with the 7FM or 7AM medium or long wave station presets provides ease of tuning and selection. The station selected is shown on a digital indicator. Cassette decks, selected and recommended for the various layouts, introduce us to the CT520 for the 30 watt and the 45 watt amplifiers, and the CT720 to integrate with the 65 watt amplifier. In addition to all the features of the CT320, Dolby, LED peak meter, music search, timer standby, and so on, the CT520 has IC logic controls. The CT720 is, well, quite simply, a thing apart. In addition to all the previously mentioned features, it has the new thin direct drive motors recently developed by Pioneer, and the record playback head is of ribbon sendust. This is a Pioneer exclusive, providing further increased performance from metal tape. Additionally, there's the facility of auto-reverse on playback mode. For any hi-fi system, a turntable is still a must, and Pioneer offer a choice of four. The PL120, which you've already seen, plus the PL320 for the X550, the PL620 with the X770, and the PL720 completing the X990 lineup. All turntables, except the PL120, have direct drive motors and the Pioneer stable hanging rotor system, and they're also fitted with coaxial suspension. They're finished in silver to match the other components in the range, and of course they all have the Pioneer polymer graphite straight tone arm with anti-skating device. The PL320 is fitted with the PC210 moving magnet cartridge. The PL620 and 720 are supplied with a high output moving coil cartridge, the PC3MC. Together they give superb response over the whole frequency and dynamic range. This range of moving coil cartridges has easily replaceable stylus assemblies. All the systems will fit into the Pioneer racks, either the short CB550 or in two of them placed side by side, since the glass doors can be hung left or right, or if preferred, in the taller rack, the CB990. Now, the systems are known as the X330 for the 21 watt range, the X550 for the 32 watt range, the X770 for the 45 watt range, and the X990 for the 65 watt range, although many variations are possible since all units can be purchased separately. Now, the style to fit into the system is the SG300 graphic equalizer, which can be used to tune the output from a hi-fi to the acoustics of a particular room in which the sound is heard. The 7-segment tuning scale has slide knobs for each of the 2 stereo channels with LED indicators, and this equalizer allows greater flexibility in listening and recording and increases the personal enjoyment obtained from a hi-fi system. A further adjunct which can function with all the cassette decks in the popular range is the DT510 timer, which not only provides a 24-hour clock, it also has a system to allow unattended main switching to the rack system. These 2 optional extras, the equalizer and the timer, can be stacked in the racks in various ways. The rack's various shelving positions provide for flexibility to suit whichever format is preferred. Outside the rack, but essential to the system, are, of course, the loudspeakers. The CS range of speakers are real value-for-money units providing quality reproduction. Pioneer offer loudspeakers as optional accessories, recognizing that they're very much a matter of personal choice. However, the range of bass reflex units will match the different power outputs of the amplifiers in each system. The CS CS353, which accepts 30 watts, matches the X330. The CS454, which can take 40 watts, the X550. The CS656, which can take 60 watts, for the X770. And the CS757, which will happily accommodate a full 65 watts, suits the capabilities of the X990 system. For personal listening, but not at 65 watts, Pioneer have an excellent range of some 10 headphones to meet the requirements of personal listening. And there's also a range of 4 Pioneer microphones, which gives the Pioneer hi-fi owner the opportunity of making his own recordings. It should, by the way, be noted that the popular range of amplifiers are hi-fi systems for the home and are not designed for discos or for use with electric guitars and the like. Now, Pioneer now provide a range of branded cassette tapes, 3 of which have 90-minute running time, 4 60 minutes, and 1 of 46 minutes, which include the high-output M1 pure metal alloy coated tape. This range of tapes is designed to complement the Pioneer equipment, having low noise level, superb frequency response, and high sensitivity to provide the best results from recording and on playback. Pioneer popular range of amplifiers, tuners, cassette decks, and players number 17. The choice of speakers, 4. They've all been specially selected for compatibility and married into 4 rack systems for the hi-fi aspirants with budget considerations. The Pioneer range of components is wide, and the choice of rack systems is yours. And of course with headphones, microphones, and tapes to match. It's important to read all the product literature carefully, and when unpacking, setting up, demonstrating, or operating, to follow the instruction manuals that are supplied to ensure that the hi-fi listener gets the very best from Pioneer. And that goes for aerial considerations too. The best reproduction of broadcast stereo sound, almost without exception, calls for an external aerial. Together, all the Pioneer popular options offer great value for money and the endless pleasure of top quality listening within the price range. And of course, there's a great deal more in store from Pioneer.
Pioneer, peak performance, receiver systems, rack adaptability, and adaptable to pocket depth without compromise on quality.
For those who want to build up a hi-fi system, there's the opportunity in the Pioneer range of hi-fi equipment to meet every requirement. A first start towards a full hi-fi system could well be one of the range of integrated receivers or tuner amplifiers with, of course, matching loudspeakers. Now, this can be followed by the addition of a cassette tape recorder, a turntable, a suitable rack from the Pioneer range, and for good measure, a matching clock timer. Let's see something of the receivers and how they stack up to make a superb system to meet individual hi-fi needs. There are 2 receivers, each with an output of 20 watts per channel. SX 600L with presets and the 400L without. The SX 600L is a slimline design. It covers FM stereo, AM on medium wave and long wave, mainly for Radio 4 listening. The SX 600L is a splendid performer with low total harmonic distortion even at full power. It has 5 feather touch presets on FM and AM, medium or long wave, and a voltage synthesizer for fine accuracy in tuning and presetting of stations. This long tuning scale has a fiber optic pointer, a combined FM signal tuning meter for ease of operation, and a frequency ident when recalling preset selections. For FM tuning, there's the normal muting to cut out interstation noise during the tuning operation. An LED confirms on-stereo signals. A standard adjustable ferrite rod aerial is built in for AM reception, but as is well known, it is in most of the country necessary to install an outside aerial to achieve maximum satisfaction from stereo broadcast reception. There are inputs for tape, phono, cartridge, and auxiliary. A headphone socket is provided on the front panel. A loudness control, which enhances bass and treble at low volume, is also a standard feature. 2 UK safety-approved outlets are also provided on the back of the unit for the ease of connection. Of the 400 and the 600L, there's the SX 700L with 40 watts output per channel. The receiver upgrades the number. Additionally incorporates illuminated function selection. PC210 VM magnet-type moving magnet cartridge. If we've commenced our build-up with the SX600L receiver amplifier, we could move up to the direct drive PL320 with the stable hanging rotor motor and coaxial suspension. And if we've chosen the SX700L receiver amplifier, we'd be very justified in having the quartz direct drive PL620 turntable with the additional advantages of quartz control drive, giving the utmost in speed stability, minimizing wow and flutter to almost non-existent proportions. Also, the high output PC3MC moving coil cartridge, matched to the straight polymer graphite low mass tone arm, provides enhanced tonal quality. When it comes to our choice of cassette decks to build up the system, we have a choice of 3. The CT200, suitable for use with the SX600L receiver. The CT320 goes with the SX400L. And the CT520 complements the 40 watts per channel SX700L, or for that matter, the CT720, if the extra facilities and improved technical specifications are demanded. Going back to the CT200, this is a very popular cassette deck because of the wide range of facilities it offers and the really budget-conscious price. It has metal tape capability with a response to meet the wide dynamic range of the tape, hard permalloy record playhead and double-gap ferrite erase head. The smooth DC motor coupled with the fat delta hub shafts and Pioneer independent transport and with electronic IC full logic control ensures minimum wow and flutter. The circuit includes a tape selector bias equalizer for standard, chrome oxide and metal tapes, electronic switching for no-click record play change, 3-digit counter, and long throw VUs with readability up to plus 6 dB to accommodate metal tapes. And of course, the deck includes Dolby for noise reduction. A great many features for an economical price. The CT320 cassette deck has a soft touch mode and function controls, and it's a few centimeters taller than the others in the range. It has all the features of the CT200 with the addition of LED peak meters, music search, and the very real benefit of connections and switching to enable the Pioneer DT510 timer to be included in the rack to switch on and off to record your favorite programs even when you're out. This timer, the DT510, has feather touch controls and a through switch overriding the timer if required. On-off time can be set freely at 1-minute intervals, and there is, of course, the digital clock, sleep timer facility, and power failure indicator. As suitable companions to the 40-watt per channel SX700L receivers, there's the CT520 cassette deck, a handsome instrument with all the features of the CT320 plus IC logic controls, and again, it's slimline styled. Or there's the CT720 with the new Pioneer direct drive motors and auto reverse. All these Pioneer receiver systems can fit into the Pioneer CB550 racks, making really handsome pieces of furniture with a world of music and entertainment built into them. See the arrangement? Oh, and by the way, there is an external headphone socket. Colors, of course, are rosewood with the matching finish loudspeakers from the Pioneer range complementing the elegant appearance. The optional speakers for the SX400L are the CS353, for the SX600L, the CS454, and for the SX700L, the CS656. With the receiver systems, there are just lots of options. The alternative to loudspeakers, headphones for personal listening, has been catered for in a big way by Pioneer, even accommodating the new craze for out-and-about listening from very small cassette players. Pioneer have introduced two new headphones with striking appearance, light phones, giving the natural sound quality. These are the SE-L5 and the SE-L3. The gross weights are 125 grams and 115 grams, and both headphone sets have 3 meters of oxygen-free copper conductor lead. For hi-fi listening in the home, open-back lightweights, they weigh in at only 208 to 230 grams. The headbands are fully adjustable, and the earmuffs large and comfortable. Also in the semi-closed back range of headphones from Pioneer are the SE450, the SE550, and the SE650. Now, these models pander to concentration and are still lightweight and non-oppressive when compared with similar products. The large earmuffs embrace Pioneer's 5-centimeter speaker receivers, well known for high-quality reception. The SE650 has the additional feature of an independent volume control for each ear. The Monitor 10 headphones are so well established that they require but little reminder of their qualities. They have rich and crisp tonal reproduction over the entire frequency range of 20 to 20 kilohertz. And they're very reasonably priced and offer adequate volume direct from tuner, tape deck, or amplifier. Yet with 700 milliwatt per channel input, there's no fear of overloading even at loud levels. To get the best of both worlds, open and closed back, Pioneer have designed a variable chamber headset, the SE-M10. Instead of fixing the headphone's drive unit rigidly to the chassis, as in the closed type, the drive unit is suspended by a thin film from the chassis. External sound is now able to penetrate through this suspending film, and by adequately damping the suspension resonance effect, a frequency response of 16 hertz to 22 kilohertz is obtained, which is even better than that of a closed-type headphone. A final touch of excellence and elegance is the gold-plated plug, which effectively reduces the contact resistance and, of course, does not become oxidized. To many enthusiasts, no audio system is complete without a microphone, and Pioneer have a range of 4 all-new unidirectional dynamic moving coil types, available separately or in pairs to enable stereo recordings to be made. All Pioneer microphones have a torque switch and a special device to prevent ferric dust from accumulating on the diaphragm. The microphones range from the DM21, which has the wide frequency range and rich, full-bodied bass response you need to record instrumental music, together with the sensitivity required for the recording of vocals. The DM31, which is ideal for in-the-field use for interviews, features a moving structure isolated from the rest of the mic by a floating suspension to reduce handling noise to an absolute minimum. A triple windshield cuts breathing and popping noise. The DM51 features the sensitivity and tonal quality you need for natural recording of musical instruments and voice. To minimize handling noise, the moving structure has been suspended with rubber vibration absorbent. Again, a triple shielded windscreen blocks wind and popping noise. Providing flexibility, the connection of the mic to the cable is by the highly reliable Canon plug. The DM61 is specially designed for voice recording with a moving structure in a double floating suspension to prevent handling noise, a windscreen to cut breathing noise. Mic to cable connection is also by Canon plug. To complete the picture, or to be more exact, the sound, Pioneer are making available a range of high-quality tapes, 4 variants, 3 sizes in cassette form. The 90-minute cassettes are available with pure ferrix coating and are known as the N1 C90. The N2 C90 has fine-grain pure ferrix coating, and the C1 C90 uses fine-grain Beridox magnetic particles on a polyester base. They all have a breaking strength of 1.1 kilogram. The tape characteristics are excellent for this type of oxidized tape. The relative frequency response is good, giving a satisfactory response curve over a wide frequency range. This sensitivity is satisfactory for many purposes, as is also the maximum output level, MOL, and the noise level is low. The shell is of high quality and precision made, and the sections are secured by screws. The 60-minute tapes in the oxide range have, as one would expect, a thicker base and a thicker coating. They're also available in the new metal tapes, C60 and 46 sizes, in which the oxide coating has been replaced by a non-oxidized metal alloy in fine-grained particles, which have dramatically improved tape characteristics. The advantages offered by these Pioneer metal tape cassettes are far better response, even at high input levels, much greater MOL, maximum output level, wider dynamic range along with much lower noise, and significantly reduced distortion. The amount of signal that can be fed to the tape before it saturates and causes distortion is much higher than for normal oxidized particle tape. However, metal tape calls for special electronics within the deck, and Pioneer have developed amplifiers and tapered materials for all their metal-capable decks to give peak performance using the whole dynamic range when using metal tape. For hi-fi quality and reliability, use Pioneer products coupled with their accessories. As Pioneer so rightly say, everything you hear is true.
Pioneer reached new peaks of perfection in purity of sound and in visual communication. The communication range from Pioneer.
Leaping into the 21st century, both in styling and technology, Pioneer have introduced a new hi-fi communication components range, so named by Pioneer to aptly describe the performance and appearance of these new units. Radically new is the distinctive finish of champagne gold. This finish is common to all the units in the full range of amplifiers, tuners, cassette decks, and turntables. There are 5 totally newly designed amplifiers from Pioneer in the communication range: the A9, the A8, the A7, the A6, and the A5. Technically, all 5 feature a non-switching power amplifier section, which, with Pioneer's advanced electronics, eliminates the switching distortion. It offers in one amplifier both the high efficiency of a Class B amplifier and the low distortion advantage of a Class A. The amplifiers employ Pioneer's exclusive ring emitter transistors, RETs, which not only handle high power signals, but also offer excellent high frequency characteristics. The A9 has an output of 110 watts per channel. The A8 gives 90 watts per channel. The A7, 70 watts per channel. The A6, 60 watts per channel. And the A5, 35 watts per channel. All amplifiers have very low THDs of 0.003 to 009. Common to all are Pioneer's unique pictographs, illuminated to indicate the operational state of the amplifier, such as which program source has been selected, the settings of the tone, filter, mode, balance circuits, or the use of line straight switch, which gives uncolored amplification. The A6, the A7, and the A8 give the choice via the phono equalizer of two gains to facilitate the use of either standard moving magnet, MM, or a quality low output moving coil, MC cartridge. This selection is simply made on the front panel of the unit, whilst the A9 has a separate preamp built in for using the low output of a very high quality moving coil cartridge. Use of DC servo technology has eliminated the need for capacitors in the input stage, the negative feedback loop, and for coupling in the power amplifier. In the A9, this concept is also utilized in the phono equalizer. Pioneer's DC servo circuit compensates instantly for any drifting of the DC offset voltage and attenuates any DC component by sharp cutoff. This ensures that reproduction is as pure as can be, with excellent transient response. Moving on, in the Pioneer range, there are three completely new tuners: the F5L, the F7, and the F9, designed to integrate perfectly with the new amplifiers from Pioneer. These are finished in the same champagne gold for stacking in the communication components range. The F7 and the F9 feature an advanced Pioneer-designed radio frequency amplifier using the latest techniques. In the F9, this is coupled with a newly designed push-pull RF amplifier, which, when combined with a double-balanced mixer, a twin varicap diode, and a new digital detector of superior linearity, achieves extremely low distortion. The F9 and the F7, although based on digital tuner techniques, achieve rejection capabilities that are more than comparable with traditional and well-proven analog tuners. They also take synthesized tuners one step further, from units just offering operating convenience to those emphasizing basic tuner performance and sound quality. A new pulse swallow synthesizing system and the static control digital circuit are utilized to eliminate the electronic noise which has till now become accepted as the norm with most systems. A newly designed mixer circuit avoids the generation of beat noises and enhances reception sound quality. Compared with conventional demodulators, the new direct-through FX-MPX demodulator and autopilot signal canceller on the communication component tuners achieve lower distortion and a higher signal-to-noise ratio, improving still further the quality of sound. Using this technology, up to 6 FM and 6 AM stations can be preset in the tuner's memory and instantly recalled by use of the push buttons on the front panel. For those who want a tuner with FM stereo and AM on both medium and long wave, Pioneer have provided the F5L. It has conventional analog tuning, but with digital readout and cosmetics that are in keeping with all their other components in the communications range. To complement the Pioneer range of hi-fi communication components is a full range of turntables, from the DC frequency generated servo PL2 to the tangential tracking PL-L800. They're all either auto-return or fully automatic and are fitted with the new Pioneer low-mass polymer graphite straight tone arm with anti-skate bias compensation. Because of this, it's been necessary to design and provide moving magnet and moving coil pickup cartridges to match. This new arrangement will provide the correct lineup to meet the demands of the more dynamic recordings now being produced. The PL2, lowest in the range, still has remarkable features, including DC FG servo motor, low wow and flutter, and good signal to noise by the incorporation of the Pioneer stable hanging rotor principle. It employs the Pioneer coaxial suspension design to insulate the turntable from external vibration. The cartridge supplied is the new Pioneer PC210 moving magnet of high quality and the normal stylus pressure for this type of cartridge. The PL4 has many of the features of the PL2, but it has a high output moving coil cartridge, PC3MC, and a direct drive servo Hall motor. The PL6 and the PL7 have the advantage of the motor being quartz controlled with quartz PLL DC servo motor drive giving the ultimate in stability and accuracy of speed, and the wow and flutter being as low as 0.025%. The PL7 and the PL8, additional to all the features of the other turntables, have record repeat among the auto functions. The final choice of turntables is yours. Top of the record players, cosmetically designed to fit in with the champagne gold of the communication components range, is the PLL800, which has some particularly outstanding features. The most striking advance is the use of a quartz direct drive coupled with the Pioneer tangential tracking tone arm driven by a unique linear motor. The whole of the arm and the cartridge tracks laterally across the record in exactly the same way as the record is cut. The arm is, of course, made of polymer graphite to give low mass but great rigidity. And this type of tracking enables the arm to be kept to a minimum in length, and this in itself reduces both partial and multiple resonances. The cartridge fitted is another new high output moving coil cartridge, the PC4MC, which needs no transformer in circuit nor a head amplifier. The replacement of the stylus is easy. The platter is driven by a quartz PLL coreless DC servo motor with the Pioneer stable hanging rotor construction, a Pioneer development, and claimed to be the world's thinnest and most accurate direct drive motor. In the same way as a gyro stabilizer seems to defy the laws of gravity and inertia once it's set into motion, the stable hanging rotor eliminates wobble from the platter to a quite amazing degree. Also tailored to the new Pioneer communications component range are the cassette decks, which cover all requirements for quality of reproduction and special features. The top-of-the-range decks, the CT9R, the CT8R, the CT7R, and the CT6R, feature Pioneer's latest innovation. On one block are 3 flat, coreless, bobbinless DC Hall-controlled motors, and for the CT9R, the capstan motor is quartz-controlled. This new concept in recorders has been designed by Pioneer to produce very thin and flat drive motor assembly to eliminate, wherever possible, the use of levers, belts, and pulleys, a fantastic advance in cassette technology. Drive is direct and can be instantly controlled. On the 4 top models, the heads are of ribbon sendust made from an alloy of iron, aluminium, and silicon. These heads have extremely good anti-abrasion characteristics, extending the life of the deck and the tapes, and bringing the high performance characteristics of metal tape even closer to absolute linearity without saturation and heat problems. The CT9R and the CT8R have 3 heads: record, playback, erase, and monitor. Wow and flutter is very low, lowest on the 9R because of the quartz system, being only 0.03%. All the decks incorporate Dolby, of course. Normally, Dolby B is fitted, which gives a 10 dB correction for compressing background hiss. On all of Pioneer's communication range are both Dolby B and C, which gives a 20 dB correction, which reduces background noise level to a notable extent, particularly on soft passages of music or speech. The signal-to-noise ratio on all the cassette decks, even with Dolby off, is excellent, being 60 dB, except on the CT4, on which it's 58 dB. All of the decks have one-touch recording, making for simplicity of operation, and a record mute facility by which you can cut the input signal going to record whilst recording and cut back again when required. All of the cassette decks are designed for use with a timer for unattended recording or playback, and the top 4 models are fitted for an optional wired remote control of the main keyboard operating functions. Another feature on the CT9R and the CT8R models is the automatic bias level equalizer, auto BLE, which is operated by a microcomputer and means that when a blank cassette is put in the machine in record mode, it will start automatically, operate for 10 seconds, and then rewind, during which it will automatically check and adjust the bias, record level, sensitivity, and equalization to suit the tape to be used. On playback, it will, of course, not check the bias, but will check the equalization required for the tape and automatically make the necessary adjustment. The auto tape selector is a facility on the top 5 of the 6 cassette decks, the CT9, 8, 7, 6, and 5. And this, by utilizing the tape identity slots on the tape cassette body, automatically selects the bias level to suit the particular tape. All the decks are provided with an LED level meter display. The CT9R has a peak hold indicator built into this display. The CT9R, 8, 7, and 6R, and incidentally you might wonder what the R means, so I'll tell you, it signifies that they all have auto-reverse on playback. However, the CT7R also has facilities for reverse on recording. The auto-reverse is achieved on these models by a newly designed rotating head assembly. No need to turn the cassette, the heads take care of it. Due to the new direct drive mechanism, we can have some novel features. These become part of the pioneer time-saving concept in cassette technology. Let's take music search. Normally, the machine moves the tape in the fast-forward motion, and then when it comes to the unrecorded portions, it will stop there and continue slowly in the play mode. However, with the new pioneer drive mechanism, we can have a fast move through the unexposed tape, and when it finds a music section, it overshoots. Fast runs back to the start of the music, then moves forward at normal speed. The run back is so quick, you can hardly notice it. And there's index scan, another facility on the 4 top models, CT9, 8, 7, and 6. This is a new function which plays back the start part of a musical passage for about 5 seconds, and then moves into fast-forward mode to the next musical passage. And when you hear the music you require, you select the play button, and it then plays through the complete piece. Next, music repeat. Now, this means that a piece of music selected in a tape can automatically be repeated time and again if required. This facility is available on the top 3 models, CT9, 8, and 7. Blank, skip and reverse is available on all 4 of the top models, CT9, 8, 7, and 6. In this mode, the recorder only plays back music portions and skips blank portions by fast forward or rewind to the next musical section. It senses and totally ignores any leader tapes it encounters during the operation. Blank search is when you wish to record on the blank spaces between music. On instruction, it locates automatically and draws your attention to the gaps in recorded sound of 2 minutes or more. This is available on the top 3 models, CT9, 8, and 7. Then there's the real time counter, available only on the CT9R. As its name implies, it indicates the amount of tape utilized in time terms instead of in revolutions of the capstan. All the Pioneer communication component units are ideally suited for stacking, shelf fitting, or rack mounting to form complete and unique hi-fi systems. The range of Pioneer HPM series loudspeakers, now fitted with the new polymer graphite cones, is matched exactly to the Pioneer component range, and hearing is believing. So ask about them and listen to the richness of sound that they give. The communication range is futuristic in its styling and performance. The unique pictograph tells you again that everything you hear from Pioneer is true.
Peak performance, loud and clear, with Pioneer's unique cartridges, tone arms, equalizers, and loudspeakers. Everything you hear is true.
To obtain the utmost from hi-fi systems, Pioneer have developed a new range of 5 loudspeakers. All 5 of the new speaker systems utilize a revolutionary new substance, polymer graphite, developed by Pioneer engineers. Polymer graphite consists of fine graphite granules and several specific polymers. Graphite's a form of the carbon crystal and has a laminate structure built up by large layers linking many hexagonal rings of carbon atoms. The composite has a good formability and can be molded into various shapes of diaphragms for both low and high frequency loudspeaker drive units. And further, its aptitude for highly accurate mass production is very favorable. Unlike paper, polymer graphite is very durable. It's not degraded by humidity, and it maintains its mechanical strength. It offers near-perfect properties as speaker diaphragm material, low density and a high elasticity, and also a high internal loss of resonance. This means that sound reproduction has, by the use of this material, taken a major step forward. The speakers start from the HPM 1100 at the top of the range with a maximum power input of a massive 250 watts. This speaker features polymer graphite on 3 of its 4 drive units. It has a 40 centimeter polymer graphite cone woofer, a 10 centimeter PG cone mid-range, and a 4.5 centimeter PG cone tweeter with a pair of Pioneer exclusive horn-loaded high polymer film super tweeters housed in a solid bass reflex enclosure. This speaker system reproduces frequencies up to 50,000 hertz with minimal distortion and does so over an extra-wide 180-degree sound dispersion area with the use of its semi-cylindrical diaphragm. All speakers in the HPM range use polymer graphite for woofers, mid-range, and tweeters, and the super tweeters are of the high polymer horn-loaded type. The HPM 900 is another 4-way speaker system. It has a maximum input of 200 watts. The HPM 700, which is similar, has a maximum input power of 120 watts. The HPM 500 is a 3-way speaker system with a maximum of 80 watts input. And the HPM 300 has the same construction, but has a maximum input power of 60 watts. The frequency responses of the range are from 25 hertz to 50,000 hertz, dependent on cabinet size. All of these superb speaker systems are, one could well say, unbeatable with their range. Listen to them all and judge for yourself. Now, there are people for whom space is a necessary consideration, and Pioneer hasn't forgotten them. Pioneer's little giants, the SX3 Mark II system, no taller than a paperback book, but capable of producing a punch and high quality that's unbelievable till heard. Now, these miniature speakers are capable of taking a load of 50 watts of input power, and they deliver solid bass, clear trebles, credible mids, and a sound pressure level you might even miss in a system 100 times the size. Altogether, the SX3 Mark II is a little giant with the biggest and one of the best voices you've ever heard in hi-fi. Although an excellent response, both in frequency range, lack of distortion, and faithful reproduction of transients is essential from hi-fi loudspeakers and equipment, the result is inevitably affected by the surroundings in which it's heard. Rooms have varying degrees of resonance, and for straight-line reproduction, tuning to accommodate for resonances is of great help. For this purpose, Pioneer have designed the SG9 800 graphic equalizer. This is known as the S9 when it's in champagne gold to match the communication range of equipment. It has 12 separate controls in each channel to handle delicate tonal adjustments at the touch of a finger. Each control permits you to increase or decrease response in precise steps of 2 dB for a 10 dB total change in level in 12 frequency ranges. There's a full and easily read LED display controlled by the separate controls and showing the equalization curve you've selected on the 24 segments. There are also LEDs for power on, tape monitor, and overload indication. By the employment of a newly designed bandpass filter plus low distortion ICs and Pioneer's advanced design, THD is never more than 0.02, and the overall frequency response is super wide, from 5 hertz to 100 kilohertz, no less. Starting at the beginning of the hi-fi chain, where record reproduction is concerned, the cartridge is the component which has an indelible effect on the quality level that can be obtained. Bearing this in mind, Pioneer has created a moving coil cartridge range which reaches the highest standards of high-fidelity reproduction, the PC70MC and the PC50MC. The heart of the cartridge is the lightweight, highly efficient generator system consisting of rare earth samarium cobalt magnets incorporated in a unique 6-pole, 4-magnet magnetic circuit. This rare earth material samarium features an optimal flux density to weight ratio and a flux density of 10,000 Gauss between the magnet poles, in spite of the broad air gap. Together with highly developed construction and contained in a solid die-cast aluminium body, the overall weight has been kept to only 4 grams, and Pioneer believe these cartridges to be the lightest moving coil cartridges now available in the world. This, coupled to a stylus cantilever design, provides a very low effective tip mass of 0.23 milligrams, a minimal obstruction to the movability of the stylus assembly, giving high trackability in both the low and high frequencies, and low wear to both the stylus and record. The two separate 3-pole, 2-magnet magnetic circuits for left and right channels give the direct benefit of a cleaner stereo image with better channel separation. The coils are made of 99.99% pure copper from oxygen-free coil wire, and as there's no magnetic core, the impedance curve remains flat up to 100 kilohertz at a value of 38 ohms. For this reason, these cartridges require little amplifier input adaptation. They should also readily fit to most existing high-quality tone arms. Both the PC70MC and the PC50MC have the same output voltage of 0.2 millivolts at 1 kilohertz. The channel balance of the 70MC is 0.75 dB, and that of the 50MC is 1 dB, and the channel separation is excellent in both models. The frequency response is phenomenal. For the 70MC from 10 Hertz to 80,000 Hertz, and the 50MC from 10 Hertz to 60,000 Hertz, high enough to cover the most adventurous dynamic recordings. And talking of the adventurous, 8 years of research, design, and development went into the design of Pioneer's top turntable, the PL-L1000. When a record is cut in a recording studio, the cutting head and its stylus move across the disc in a perfectly straight line from the periphery to the center. The track is spiral, but the stylus is always at exactly a right angle to the point being engraved. Now, logically, for perfect reproduction, the ideal way to recover the information would be for the pickup cartridge stylus to be moved in exactly the same way as the recording stylus. And this is just how the cartridge is tracked on the PL-L1000 turntable from Pioneer. The advantages are several-fold. Practically no skating or inside force as the stylus tracks across the spiraling groove, almost entirely eliminating cross-modulation, distortion, crosstalk, uneven stylus and record wear, and other similar drawbacks. Lateral balance is ideal, and since the effective arm length is relatively short, equivalent mass is low. Pioneer do not claim to be the first ever to use this idea, but they do claim that they're first to do so without the hassles. The reason is that theirs uses a gearless, no-contact linear arm motor providing the lateral tracking compensation movement through direct inductance. This is probably the first time the principle behind the tone arm drive motor has been used in hi-fi. It's a system of movement with which engineers are experimenting for high-speed trains. The coil of the motor is linear, like a rail. The magnets are positioned on either side and are impelled along the rail when a current flows in the coil. The turntable platter is driven by a direct drive DC motor utilizing Pioneer's stable hanging rotor principle, in which the motor shaft itself does not rotate. The platter and hanging cup rotor are placed on a pivot point at the center of gravity, and utilizing a form of gyrostatic function, the platter and hanging cup rotor glide without the slightest wobble. With a highly efficient quartz-controlled drive, the result is unprecedented reduction in wow and flutter, rumble, and transmitted noise. The PL-L1000 is robustly built and can be supplied so that the enthusiast can use the cartridge of his or her choice. Or it's ideally suited to one of the two new Pioneer moving coil cartridges, the PC70MC or the PC50MC. But reverting to more conventional type of tracking brings us to the fantastic advances made by Pioneer in their utilization of polymer graphite, the same material as they use for the cones of their super high quality loudspeakers. For all their turntables, following their policy of providing the most efficient equipment, Pioneer now use their newly developed polymer graphite straight tone arm throughout. Polymer graphite has exceptional qualities which make it admirably suited for the molding of lightweight but very rigid constructions, and it's these properties which Pioneer have utilized to great advantage in making their tone arms. Made in tubular formation and coupled with a design of offset head, the arm is straight and extremely light. For the maximum fidelity in reproduction from a cartridge, the weight, the mass of the system, has to be scientifically balanced with the compliance of the cartridge and stylus. There is, in almost everything, a resonance of some frequency or another, and the object in a tone arm and cartridge is to keep any resonance out of the frequency range of the equipment with which it will be used. In this case, 8 to 20 hertz. Because of the need for high compliance in the cartridge and the stylus assembly to suit modern dynamic recordings, it's necessary to make the cartridge and tone arm as light as possible in order to create a very low effective tip mass. And this is where the polymer graphite arm comes to the fore. Fitted with the appropriate Pioneer cartridge, the resonant point can be kept within the subsonic range, whilst at the same time the equipment is providing the highest quality output over the usable frequency range. Pioneer in truth offers sound reality. Peak performance from beginning to end, from purity of source to the appreciative and critical ears of the listener. Pioneer, perfection in high fidelity sound.
Forward-thinking Pioneer, always on the move, out and about, ever adventuring towards the finite in the world of audio electronics.
Pioneer's research and development programs have, since the company's inception, been forward-thinking. In their laboratories, their technicians have been ceaseless in working away at their objectives of ensuring that the company is always in the forefront of sound technology, and that their products achieve peak performance in that field. Emerging into the 80s are not only some very fascinating hi-fi components, the like of which I doubt you've seen before, but also Pioneer really brings sound out into the open with a range of portables that have to be heard and, of course, seen to be believed.
The philosophy of Pioneer is to provide high-quality sound for anyone at any time at any place. There are 5 stereo portables in the Pioneer personal range, with all the best features that everyone who knows Pioneer would expect. The biggest even offers hi-fi with a built-in graphic equalizer. The specialist range of shelf components comprises tuners, amplifiers, turntables and loudspeakers. Together with Pioneer cassette receivers, they offer a mix-and-match choice for shelf stacking anywhere where largely individual or personal home listening is preferred. Perhaps a bedroom, workroom, bed-sit, study or the like. A great variety of please-yourself systems can be built from a wide choice of components. Let's start with the 3 cassette receivers. The RX10 at 12 watts a channel has a host of features including Dolby, of course, metal tape capability, soft touch controls, and FM, AM and long wave, and the matched option of Pioneer speakers, SX10s, SX30s. And with a Pioneer turntable such as the PL120, it makes a tailored-to-choice system. Then there's the RX30 with 25 watts per channel, which goes happily together with the same turntable or the increased specification PL320. The RX30 will drive the same speakers or even a pair of Pioneer's CX656s. The RX30 obviously incorporates all the expected features, and it has logic controls and digital readout. From there, let's move, but again at 25 watts, to the RX70 and mix it with the PLX50 turntable with its superior PC3MC cartridge. and either the SX30 speakers, the CF757s, or if space and fluid funds allow, the HPM 500s, using to the full advantage Pioneer's new high-polymer graphite speaker technology. The RX70 cassette receiver from Pioneer has a lot going for it, and a lot going on in it. There are LEDs for both power and cassette outputs. It has logic controls and 5 FM and AM presets for accurate recall of your chosen station. And it has microphone mixing and digital readout. The RX70 is a full-featured expression of Pioneer's new cassette receiver developments, the top choice of a choice of 3. We also promised you a choice of shelf components. The cassette deck used on all the shelf systems is the CTX50, another Pioneer product which literally compacts into it many features of supremacy established as norm in their hi-fi products. There's one key control and one touch recording. There's music search, auto tape selector, including metal, and Dolby, of course, and many other features that can be seen and heard to good effect. And now the would you believe it turntable. In this little box is a turntable that appears to have a mind of its own, but that answers to your will at a touch. Just operate the flap, select your record size and speed, press the button, and out comes the platter. On with the disc, full 30 centimeter LP, and from there it's on its own. The straight tone arm with PC3MC cartridge lets itself down very lightly in the appointed spot and plays its own game perfectly. And when you've finished with it, puts itself to bed until wanted again. The complete package wrapping up neatly to a very tidy shelf stacking system. Small though it is, the S9 system with its 40-watt output effectively drives the SX30 speakers or the mighty HPM 500 or 700 speakers. When required, Pioneer's timer, the DT510, and a choice of 10 headphones and 4 microphones are a match for all the systems. Any of the 3 shelf systems can provide music throughout the house and fill the house with quality sound. Continuing with the Pioneer philosophy of providing high-quality sound for anyone at any time at any place, they've introduced a further range of stereo audio products to complement our existing hi-fi and in-car systems. The purpose is to bring good sound to more people with an exciting new lineup of stereo radio cassettes called personal portables. Let's begin on a fashionable note with the smart-looking SK212L. Like all the others in the lineup, it offers superb stereophonic sound from cassettes and from FM stereo broadcasts. And like all the others, it has a 4-band tuner, which, in addition to FM stereo, has long, medium and shortwave bands as well. The SK202L is the same model in black finish. Like the silver-coloured version, it too has a shoulder strap instead of a handle, a part of the new design to make these personal portables very easy to carry. These two are only about half the weight of conventional portables, and they have smoothly rounded edges and recessed top panel controls. One thing that makes them lighter is that the AC-DC converter is provided as a separate item, at no extra cost, of course. As fashionable as they look, the SK202L and the SK212L can't be judged from the outside alone. Inside, they have advanced microelectronic circuits, which include a very highly sensitive FM tuning section. The importance of the high sensitivity of the tuner cannot be overemphasized. It is a must for people who want to use their Pioneer portable on trips to the countryside or the seashore, or anywhere that radio signals might be very weak. And a bright LED signal level meter is provided. The large stereo speakers measure 10 centimeters in diameter, and they're mounted in acoustically engineered enclosures to ensure rich bass reproduction. These portables, when mains operated, feed the speakers with 9 watts of music power. Next, there is the SK404L, with more power and extra features. One glance shows you that it has very elegant styling, but a closer look reveals even more visual attractions. For instance, it has very few controls to clutter up the outside. On the top, under the handle, are the controls for the new Pioneer DSS feature. DSS means Direct Source Selector. These 4 buttons make operation very easy. For instance, just push the large button marked FM, and the SK404L is instantly switched to the FM mode. And if the tape is running, it will stop instantly. And you may just as easily switch to AM or to tape play, all at one touch of a fingertip. DSS also means cleaner looks, since it lets us put in frequently used controls under the hideaway panel, out of the way but still easy to get to when they're needed. Another of the features of the SK404L is one-touch recording. One finger starts the tape and selects the record mode. Then there's Pioneer's music search function, which automatically seeks out and plays the listener's chosen track. Simply push the yellow button for music search, along with the fast forward or rewind buttons. The tape advances or rewinds rapidly until a built-in sensor finds a blank in the tape. The tape then stops and automatically goes into the play mode. These sensor blanks can be inserted between the tracks by several methods as the tape is recorded. One of these is to use the built-in editor switch provided. The SK404L has an automatic level control circuit and a level meter with 6 LEDs in 2 colors. Inside, there's a highly compact power amplification IC that, when working from mains, delivers 22 watts of music power. The stereo speakers are 12 centimeters in diameter, fitted with specially developed dry press cones to provide a very pleasing sound over a wide range of frequencies, and with very little distortion and excellent quality for such a conveniently sized portable. Speaking of sound quality, and the fact that the SK404L is so highly portable, Pioneer's engineers took special care to assure smooth and accurate tape speed by using an ingenious anti-rolling mechanism with 2 large flywheels. All of the features in the SK404L are also available in the SK606L, which has the additional feature of a built-in 24-hour digital clock and timer with a liquid crystal display. And it has a sleep function, programmable up to 60 minutes. This can be used for turning off the tape any time during recording. The clock serves as a timer for turning on wake-up music from radio or tape, and is equally useful for unattended recording. We've already mentioned the dry press cones and their advantages. In the SK606L, the speakers are given a dual cone design for still wider frequency response. The separate bass and treble controls on the top panel offer even more control over tonal quality. For portable power, here's yet another model in the expanding Pioneer lineup of perfect personal portables. It's the SK909L, with 50 watts of music power on mains operation for those who demand full fidelity sound. The loudspeaker system features a passive radiator. This concept has often been used in large high-fidelity speaker systems. The passive radiator vibrates in harmony with the adjoining active loudspeaker to reinforce the mid-range and low-frequency sounds for richer and more natural reproduction. The stereo cassette section employs 2 motors and a full logic tape transport system. The 2 motors assure highly accurate tape speed at all times. The electronic logic system provides the user with feather touch buttons. The logic system also permits the use of an electronic skip search. The 8 buttons of the LED indicators above them help locate and play the music required, simply by pushing one switch. Almost unbelievable on a portable is a built-in graphic equalizer with its 6 frequency band controls. But there it is on the Pioneer's SK909L. And of course, there are left and right channel faders for volume control. To tune, select any of the 4 bands, long, medium or shortwave, or FM stereo. The Access tuning feature, seen with its green LED shining to indicate pinpoint tuning, also has red LEDs to the left and right to indicate near station selection. Naturally, LED indicates on FM stereo. This Pioneer top-of-the-line SK909L also includes other features such as Dolby noise reduction, metal tape playback and recording, all aimed at ease of operation, maximum versatility and maximum sound quality. By the way, like all other models in the portable radio cassette lineup, there are full facilities for interconnection with any high-fidelity system. And it even has inputs for external microphones and a mic mixing control. Altogether, the Pioneer personal range of new portables, shelf components and cassette receivers extend hi-fi opportunities to much greater degrees of flexibility and mobility, with new horizons and new ideas in peak performance.
So, what did I tell you? Isn't it all true?
Pioneer products present peak performance and superb value for money throughout their entire range. Pioneer, peak performance, always.